Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am Jarod Gray, my co-host, the 50 Shades of Drunk, Jordan Rains. This is the IDP Hour. We are a proud partner of the Full-Time Fantasy Podcast Network. How are you doing, Jordan?
I'm excellent, bro. How are you today?
I'm good, man. I didn't work too long, so I got home early and got to do this.
I got off work a little bit early. My son had a fever last night, so he couldn't go to school today. So
well, that's not good.
No, he's doing a lot better though. I think
that's good.
To school. Anywho, ready to talk. Go ahead, go for it.
We got a few good matchups this week. I'm going to bring up our group and
week 10
stuff for
week 10. Some good IDP matchups. We got some big bye weeks this week. You got Jacksonville, Houston, Patriots, Eagles, Redskins. Yeah. The main guys.
I hate Matt Ioannidis being gone this week. I kind of really
there's a lot of defensive lines that are hurting between Ioannidis, Jonathan Allen, Yannick, Josh Allen, and Calais Campbell. Those are all pretty much weekly starters. So you're not the only one hurting this week, bro. Where you at?
Well, it happens, and that's why we do this, and that's what
that's why we're here for. Give the people some content, a little information. They can sift through this stuff and find the right guy to get that dub.
Give the people what they want.
Amen.
All right, first matchup of the week tomorrow
night. I guess that'll be tonight whenever these people hear it, unless we're doing the live cast.
Well, we technically are going. We're live right now, so.
All right, word.
I don't expect too many people to ask questions. The whole goal here is to get out the content, guys. So that's what we're gonna do. So Chargers, Raiders. How are you feeling about this?
It should be a good game overall. IDP wise, not a whole lot I'm excited about, honestly. I mean, Joey Bosa and then Melvin Ingram being back is nice. He had a decent game this last week, pretty good game. So that's exciting. But besides that, I'm not really excited about much on either side of the ball. What about you?
I like to hear Whitehead. Overall, I like the matchup. Obviously, I expect the Chargers still run quite a bit. Melvin Gordon, he finally started playing again. So I expect to hear Whitehead play a little bit better. A lot of people are going after the safety, trying to get Joseph right now, which I guess if you're hurting for it, maybe, but I'm not a huge fan on that side. Will be interesting to see on the Chargers side, safety-wise, if Eric Weddle plays well again. Sorry, not Weddle, but
Teamer.
Well, yeah, because Teamer was inactive last week. So
and I think he might be inactive this week too. I just got an alert on Yahoo that said he was doubtful. But I mean, who knows right now?
He had such a good week, and then
I know.
Nowhere. He hasn't done anything. So he's somebody to keep an eye on. We actually, in one of my leagues, if you start an inactive player, you get penalized for it.
Oh, dang.
And you get penalized by losing your top two scorers.
Damn.
Yeah, so it keeps people honest in the league.
That's a big penalty. It
is a big penalty, but it's to keep people on their toes.
Keep them rolling. I'm about it.
So it affected my division. One of them's the co-commish who had it, so it's on him a little bit. And have full on respect for the person. Do you know what? That's on me, and I'm gonna take those points away. He's still leading the division. It doesn't really matter. It's me and him in that division. So I put a post earlier this week about somebody I have a lot of respect for people who have a lot of integrity, and that's who I am. So I appreciate them. It's pretty cool, that person. Next game, like I said, I'm not really super intrigued about it. It's a Thursday night game. It seems like it's a thing that let's throw these dumpster fires out here.
Yeah.
I expect it to be a good game, though. That should be – offensively could be kind of fun, though.
Yeah, I think on the offensive side, you're going to have a pretty good game from a lot of your fantasy guys over there, like Hunter Henry, Waller. You're starting cards, super flexes. You're starting Phillip Rivers. There's going to be a lot of action. But IDP side, there's not a lot of nothing really exciting besides the Bosa and Ingram to me. And then, like you said, Whitehead is obviously – he's a pretty consistent linebacker, too, for you. So. Yep,
nothing that super is intriguing there. First game of the morning, the Giants versus the Jets on Sunday morning. This could be interesting. Let's start with the Jets. They're not super, wham down full of guys, but Copeland has kind of come on as a guy that I'm intrigued about. Somebody that I like seeing play well and get up there.
He had a
never been real high
last week.
Yeah, never really been high on the Jets linebackers because they're just injuries everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But Copeland had a good game last week. He's somebody to stream this week if you're looking for a guy. Obviously, Jamal Adams is a savage. So
yeah, and I believe on Sleeper app, Copeland has multiple designations. So he might be defensive line eligible. He might be linebacker eligible. I will double check that right now. But yeah, if that's the case, I mean, all the more power to him. That's versatility. That's what you really want, you know.
Yep, agreed. That's exactly what I'm looking for out of those two.
Quinnen Williams, too. You know, we have a lot of bye weeks. So Quinnen Williams is a guy that if you're missing out on a D tackle like Daron Payne, in some leagues he's D tackle, or, you know, Ioannidis, or if you're just ready to drop Kenny Clark like I was earlier today, like I did, you know, keep an eye out. Quinnen Williams had a decent game last week. He's been producing pretty decent number of tackles every week. He's kind of been under the radar because he started out the season hurt. So he's another guy that I'm kind of warming up to as the season's coming along. Maybe
then you got Leonard Williams on the other side now that he got traded.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, right?
And he seemed to be a pretty involved in that game on Monday night.
Yeah, he was pretty active.
It seemed like he was disrupting a lot of stuff. So, but besides, you know, on that side of the ball, it's pretty much the safeties. You know, we're talking Peppers, Bethea. Those guys are beast mode. They crush every week. They had a huge game Monday night. Alec Ogletree, you know, obviously he's a starting middle linebacker. You're going to want to start him.
Well, maybe. I guess it kind of depends what you got. He's been off and on. You know, he's been on. I felt like last week I just saw him give up a few times on a tackle. Like he was just like, okay, let me just slow up here. And that's interesting. It was like he's trying to preserve himself. Did he realize they were out of the game at the point? You know, that's a rivalry game. So, it got chippy. It was chippy the whole game.
Yeah, it was. Robert Quinn was in there. I thought he was going to get ejected there for a minute.
Yep. Did somebody get ejected?
I don't think so, but they came close. That offensive lineman for the
Hernandez.
Yeah, he was just he was just pushing buttons all night.
Spinning heads, bro. Spinning heads.
That was an interesting matchup. They yeah.
It made it for an interesting Monday night, and then the cat, obviously. Everybody can talk about
it. It also seemed like Lorenzo Carter. I mean, we were kind of dogging him a little bit last week, but it seemed like he was involved in a lot of disruptive plays too. He didn't show up in the stat sheet a lot, but I felt like I just kept seeing him almost get to Dak kind of over and over and over, and I was like,
close.
There might be something here. So he's a guy to keep an eye on. Again, you have him bye weeks this week, so some of these guys that we're not usually talking about are going to be viable for you, depending on how deep you are. So
yeah, definitely something to look at for sure. A game I'm interested in, obviously, it's always a fun game, is the Falcons versus the Saints, especially if Matt Ryan's back.
Mm-hmm.
Loving seeing him and Breeze, getting at each other,
duke it out.
And I mean, there's for me, a guy that I'm really looking forward to is Devondre Campbell against the Saints, with Kamara coming back, with the emergence of their other running back, Latavius Murray. With them starting to play like they are, I really like Devondre Campbell's role now. He's pretty high in tackles this year, even with the bye week. He's still really high in the tackles. So he's a guy that I'm really focused in looking at. On the other side of the ball, well, safety-wise, I'm not super keen on the Falcons.
No, there's really not a whole lot going on there that I'm loving. If
it's funny because I like Tion Jones and Devondre Campbell for the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge fan of the Saints linebackers, but I love their back end and Chauncey Gardner Johnson, and then you also have Von Bell.
Yep, Von Bell.
Both really good players. Both you're putting up a lot of good stats.
Von Bell's having a great season. He's my number one ranked linebacker this week just because, I'm banking on Matt Ryan or safety. Yeah. I'm banking on Matt Ryan being back and airing it out. So he's going to have to be back there getting a lot of tackles.
Yep. I like him and Chauncey Gardner Johnson a lot. See what happens with them. That's my two favorite matchup. Cameron Jordan obviously is a guy that, he's one of the top defensive linemen in the league.
Yeah. week in, week out. He's an IDP stud. I also like Davenport this week. Again, you got a lot of people on bye, so Davenport's a guy I'm thinking you can probably plug and play in redraft. He might be on your waiver wire. Not Grady a bad Jarrett. Matchup for him. Grady Jarrett, yeah, I'm a little down on him. I think he ended up coming in. He came in a little lower in my rankings than usual. But that's just because the Saints' offensive line is, it's elite. And Drew Brees is not just going to, he's not going to mess this up if he can help it. So he's a very smart quarterback. I don't see a lot of turnover potential, and I see him throwing it away a lot more than taking sacks. So,
agreed. I'm the same way. I mean, this could be a fun game to watch offensively and defensively. I mean, it could be some big plays back and forth. So
pumped.
The Saints are solid. The Falcons have the ability to be a good team, and they have a lot of talent. They're just not doing it on the record books. So
yeah,
the next game could be a lot of fun, especially if your boy comes back and Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs against Titans.
He better come back. I'll be mad if he doesn't.
Well, I have Tyreek Hill, so I hope he comes back too. So I've had a lot of people trying to come get him for me. I mean, even without him, Tyreek Hill is easily top 3 receiver in the league, I think, right now.
100%.
I know he's your favorite, but I have something to ask you. If he's last week, how well do you think Matt Moore played last week?
I didn't think he played too bad. I mean, they won, right?
Well, yeah, they won. But so, I heard somebody talk about on NFL Network today about how Matt Moore had an elite game, 275 yards passing, a touchdown. He's pretty unstoppable. And then right after that, they're like, man, Baker Mayfield just doesn't have it. He did not have a good game against, the Broncos. Real quick, Baker Mayfield threw for 273 yards and a touchdown. And isn't that the exact same stat that Matt Moore just had, with the exception of 2 yards?
Yeah, but Matt Moore is a backup, though. So to say a backup had
but you can't say one person had an elite day and the other one didn't.
No, I don't think a one touchdown game should ever be called elite by
100% agree with you. Both of them had mediocre days. One had a much better defense going against them than the other.
And one won and one didn't.
And one won and one didn't. But the one that won had a much better rushing attack. And Damon Williams, dude, I know we've brought this up twice. Watching him get ran by Tyreek Hill was amazing to me.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Here I am, buddy. Okay, let's get into the defensive players. A guy that I'm screaming up my charts is Charvarius Ward for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They keep targeting him. He keeps showing out. Every time – he held Stephon Diggs to, 4 yards or something?
Yeah, that was a weird game for Stephon Diggs.
He shut him down.
He has these kinds of games, though.
So my question is he going to card Corey Davis or A.J. Brown? That's what I really want to know. So –
yeah, either way, he's definitely a solid corner start.
If I'm looking at who's he playing, I'm going to go against whatever. So,
yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu. You think Tyrann Mathieu steps up, has a decent game?
I think he does. I think there's a lot of turnover potential from the Titans, and because of that, I kind of give him a little bit more upside, just because the Titans on offense are such a mess. So I have, I'm high on him. I think he's going to have a solid DB2 week.
Is this a good week for their linebackers? Because in this aspect, Henry is going to round and pound the ball. So
yeah, I don't ever trust a Chiefs linebacker right now. That's some scary business. If I'm being real, I don't know if Frank Clark's back this week or not. But this is a primo matchup for pass rushers. So Emmanuel Ogbah, he's a guy I'm on a little bit this week. I've picked him up in a couple of leagues. I'm thinking about starting him in one other league that I've got him in. I have some better options, though, but he has a really nice matchup. Not sure if Frank Clark's coming back. Chris Jones, too. He looked good last week. So I think Chris Jones and Ogbah are going to be pretty hot IDP commodities this week. And
I agree. Right on that one. When it comes to the other side of the Titans, obviously I'm a fan of Jeffries. I'd love to see him kind of emerge. We know Harold Landry is a beast. He's a guy that you must start. Logan Ryan is a must start.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Garrett, I would say, is a must start, again, especially if Patrick Mahomes is back. Patrick Mahomes might not mess up, but you're going to get a lot of tackles in the back end. So that's why I look at it. I'm going to love to see Logan Ryan against Tyreek Hill if that's going to happen, because I don't think anybody else is going to go against him. They lost Malcolm Butler probably for the year.
Yeah, that's a big note right there. Malcolm Butler, I have him in a couple of leagues as my only cornerback in some leagues where I have to start one, and I'm going to miss him.
Yeah,
he's just been easy to just put in my lineup and just forget that he even exists, but he always gets me enough points to make me happy.
Yep, he's a pretty solid player, and that's gonna be a tough loss for them.
Yes, you got to start Rashaan Evans as well while we're talking about
Rashaan Evans is a must start.
He's been having a really good season. He might not be the greatest player, but he's racking up IDP points every which way.
So it looks like Jalen Brown might be hurt. Is Wesley Woodyard a guy you're looking to plug and play?
Yeah, I mean, if you have to, he's startable, especially if Brown's out.
I agree to a point. I think some of you have to look at. Well, I just got an update during this game. Patrick Mahomes is listed as a full participant in practice today.
Yay!
Just for you.
Yay!
Live
update. Win his money, baby.
Got you. He's got to get that $200 paycheck he's trying to get. Let's go with the next game, Ravens-Bengals. Ravens come off a huge win against the Patriots.
Yeah. If they lose to the Bengals, I don't know if the world's going to be – if we're in the upside down.
You know how these letdown games happen, though.
Yeah, they do.
They happen. So,
and it's a divisional game, so –
what?
But it's Ryan Finley, or what's his name? Ryan. If you lose to Ryan Finley after you beat Tom Brady, oh boy, we got some questions that need to be answered. AJ Green's back. Well, maybe he was out today.
No, he's there. Said he's debuting.
Well, I saw something just like an hour ago that said he did not participate today.
Well, his coach said he's going to make his debut on Sunday.
He's day-to-day. I guarantee you the day-to-day report was after that report. Promise.
Well, either way, I'm going to take it as A.J. Green's going to play. Tyler Boyd's going to play.
They don't matter. What you're really worried about is Sean Williams and Jesse Bates.
100%.
Dudes, they're beast mode. I mean, they're my two favorite safety tandems right now are those two, and then Peppers and Bethea, and they're such solid commodities. You got to start them, obviously, if you have them, or try and work them into your lineup, even if you're deep. Sam Hubbard's back. That's good. He had his worst game of the season last week or week before last, so that was kind of a letdown, but I'm hoping for a bounce back game, although I'm in the Ravens.
I think he comes at Ingram. I think he is one guy that's actually fast enough to catch Lamar Jackson off his game a little bit. So, especially if Lamar's looking the other way.
Yeah, could. I'm a little worried. I wish he'd get a sack or two, and I know that Lamar Jackson's pretty slippery, so I don't know that's going to happen this week.
He is pretty slippery, but
he did sack Russell Wilson early in the season. He's slippery too, so we'll see.
Think, what about Nick Vigil? Is he a guy that?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy. If again, he's been a solid linebacker all year. You're not getting a lot of crazy big games out of him. I think he had one or two.
He's going to be guarding one of those tight ends, and that's all it seems like Jackson likes to throw to is the tight end. So, he connected with all three on one drive. In the second drive of the game last week, he connected with all three different tight ends. So,
Lamar Jackson's a beast.
How you feel about on the other side of the ball? You got Earl Thomas. Obviously, you got Humphrey, who's just a really good player. Onwasser's back, playing well. Looks like he's going to be a full go. And then you got Chuck Clark, who honestly he was getting the play calling duties because Onwasser was out. And then he was kind of a dumpster fire last week. He had 3 tackles. And I know somebody that I used to talk to quite a bit. He's been on the Chuck Clark thing this whole time. Not a fan of him. He's a buddy of ours put out that he's like a 7% tackle ratio. That's not something I'm trying to be a part of.
Yeah, that's not great.
So against the Patriots. So I don't like the Bengals rushing team. I love Joe Mixon, but he's more of a passing threat with that offensive line. So just how that goes. But I like Patrick Onwasser this week.
Yeah, he's had a great game this last week, an excellent game. I mean, he had a sack, a forced fumble, and 8 tackles, and he only played like 40-something% of snaps. So, I mean, that's a really good tackle rate, that is. I promise you that. So he's back into your lineups. Obviously, a lot of people probably didn't start him last week because he's coming off the injury, but he's a solid play. And if you can squeeze him in, I mean, he's a solid play. So I'm playing him.
Yeah, completely agree. I like to play. That's something that I'm focused on playing if I can get him. And obviously, with him being injured and people looking at bye weeks and stuff like that, he's kind of sliding down somebody's group. The next game should be super tight game. The Bills have allowed 5 touchdowns to passing quarterbacks. The Browns are not scoring very much. Their kicker's playing really well. The Bills are off and on with Milano. Jordan Poyer's pretty solid. The only reason I think it's going to be a closer game people think it is because it's at the Browns. So, and the Browns need to do something. So
yeah, they need to do something. But that Bills defense, man, I mean, the Browns have needed to do something all season. OBJ can't get it started. I don't know. I think it's going to be a good IDP game for Poyer, Milano, maybe even your boy Ed Oliver against this really crappy Browns line. Jordan Phillips is the guy I've been telling people if he's on your waivers to pick up and start. I've been playing him in a couple of leagues. He's having a really good season at D tackle, just solid numbers. So this week, he's a good plug and play guy. And Baker, I don't know. I just think there's a lot of turnover upside playing against the Browns. So I'm high on a lot of Bills this week.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting because they got Kareem Hunt. So he's going to be a full-go participant in practice. You expect him to get some swing passes. If you can have Chubb on one side and Kareem Hunt another and you're running, flare-outs, it leaves the middle open. So either one Milano's going to have a great day or Poyer's going to have a good day. That's where I look on that. On the other side, the Bills' Singletary has really started to play really well, and he's a guy that if on the offensive side of the ball, if you can get a plug and play and try to go get him, he might be a week too late on Singletary, but he's getting 20-something carries. So the Browns' defensive line looks really good to me. Like Ogunjobi, obviously Garrett is one of the must-play, guaranteed must-play.
Vernon's doing pretty good this year.
Great, though.
Say it again?
The Browns' corners haven't played that great, though. So, but they've been injured off and on. Both of them are back. They just, they obviously waived Whitehead from the team after what happened on Twitter. We talked about on Monday. Honestly, this game could be one of those 12-10 games with a ton of field goals. I really believe that. I mean, both sides have decent, defensive players. So it's going to be. I don't know.
I think the Bills are going to be able to score on the Browns.
I don't know. We'll see.
You're right, though. We'll see.
I could see Tremaine Edmonds playing really well as well. He's in a position where they're going to throw the ball, and he's the guy that I would expect to cover Kareem Hunt of all the linebackers. So
Joe Schobert obviously is a must play, and Mac Wilson's been playing pretty good too.
Played really good last week. I mean, he had a really good game. So against really a poorish team overall, but they ended up taking the L anyway. So of course the Browns turned the ball over twice on downs, which cost them the game. So
Brown's gonna Brown.
The next game for us, Cardinals Buccaneers. This could be
This is going to be a shootout.
Shootout, bro.
This is going to be points everywhere on both sides of the ball. Turnover machine. Oh, this game's got everything you want.
Both quarterbacks are must plays on the offensive side. On the defensive side, obviously, Budda Baker is a stud. It's going to be interesting who Budda Baker covers because who cares about Cameron Brate, really? You got.
I was just looking at something. He is the 8th overall tackle leader on the season. Budda Baker is. He has 76 tackles through 9 weeks.
I mean,
that's insanity.
He's real.
Insanity. Yeah, he's for real. He's the business.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think he's one of the best players in the league. I think personally.
Yeah. The only safety that has more than him is Landon Collins, and he has 2 more. So that's some elite company to be in for IDP.
And let's think about that. Landon Collins, I don't think has had his bye week yet, has he?
He's having it this week. So
yeah. So the cart and Buddha had his. So that's going to change right now. So
yeah, he's going to scream up the chart.
So I expect at least 4 to 5 tackles out of him. Just full blown expected it. What's another guy that I'm really looking at? Obviously,
Jordan Hicks, Hassan Reddick, this Joe Walker guy.
Yeah, Walker come in quite a bit just because he had some, a little bit of injuries here and there. What's going on with Jones? I mean, he had a decent game and then kind of went quiet.
Chandler, yeah. I mean, it was just a tough matchup overall.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best teams in the league. So, on the other side of the ball, the Buccaneers, Levante David's obviously a must start. Devin White is screaming back like we expected him to in the beginning of the season, play how he's supposed to play last game.
Yeah, huge game from Devin White this last week. I mean, he's finally kind of showed what he was drafted to be.
I really like Vernon Hargreaves this week. I mean, he had that one – remember the 1 week where we weren't going to bring his name up again because he had 14 tackles and an interception?
Yeah.
He's balled out. And I actually like him this week because the Cardinals are going to throw the ball everywhere. So Vernon Hargreaves is a cornerback that I'm actually looking at. If you need a corner, he's a guy that's been quiet, but he's definitely a play king as well. So
you got to talk about Jason Pierre-Paul as well and Shaq Barrett.
Right?
JPP has been having a good, he's had 2 good solid games since coming back. He's playing a higher level staff, so he's pretty much right back into your lineups like last season. Shaq Barrett's still producing, so I'm not taking him out. He's shown the kind of upside he has on a weekly basis, the kind of disruption he can produce. Having him with JPP just makes me all that more excited. So
yeah, Sue on one side, JPP on another, and then here comes Shaq Barrett up the middle. That's
a defensive line we're going to have to start paying. That's one that you're going to start locking in.
It sounds like David Johnson said he's 100% and go. So that's going to be a fun one. I mean,
we'll have to see.
That could be a fun game to watch. I mean, if you're looking for like a Big 12 football score from college, here comes the Cardinals and Buccaneers to show you what it's about. Next game, Lions-Bears. A lot of questions. The main question everybody's asking me, Tracy Wilson, is Tracy
Walker
going to be back? I'm thinking of Taven Wilson, the other guy. So
yeah,
and that's the biggest question I'm getting either way.
Constant, dude. Yeah, same. And I don't know, I mean, I know as much as anybody else knows. I mean, you can Google him, you can search him on Roto World, but I don't have any real updates. I haven't seen anything from the practice reports today. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, no, still a day-to-day guy. We're still trying to figure out what's going on with him. Don't know what we're going to see. Obviously, Russell's been asking us all week, and if what's going on with Trace Walker, still the day-to-day. I still think Taven Wilson is the guy that you're going to be holding on to right now, just to be honest with you in that aspect.
Yep. I still ranked Walker this week. I mean, until I hear he's not playing, I'm just pretending he's playing. And if he's not, I mean, we've already been through this before. So, like you said, Tavon Wilson is your pivot point, and it's just that easy.
I mean, ideally, if you have both of them and you find out one's a game-time decision, I mean, it's a knee injury, so they're going to be iffy with it. It's a big game. Don't trust Mr. Trubisky. Nobody does. But so one of those guys is going to play well.
Yeah.
I really want to see Jelani Tavai come up and start playing better. Kennard is playing pretty good for them. The Bears have obviously started focusing on running the ball with Montgomery again, finally. Not again, but
finally.
I don't know what I'm going to get out of, the Lions defense besides that side of it,
Trey Flowers, you can play Trey Flowers for sure. He's been really disruptive. Not a super high tackle producer, but he's a guy that at any moment he can get you a forced fumble, a sack. So I'm definitely playing it against Trubisky's.
Yep. Love people checking out the YouTube. Ronnie, I know that you've been listening to us quite a while and finally chiming in. So thanks for chiming in. Hey guys, keep up the good work. Love listening to you guys. We love the support, period. When I come back to the game, when it comes to the Bears, obviously Khalil Mack is must start. Fuller, if you have to start a corner, he's a must start. Clinton Dix is kind of if and on, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
against
he's on and off.
Stafford's going to throw the ball, so Clinton Dix has got to be a must start, right?
Yep, and the Bears' offense cannot stay on the field, which means that the Bears' defense is always on the field. So there's going to be plenty for everyone on this back end to eat, I think. And like you said, Stafford's throwing it deep. He's throwing it deeper than he has his whole career, I think.
Danny Trevathan and Roquan Smith this week because Stafford he likes to stretch the field. He doesn't like to dink and dunk.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to me to see where Danny Trevathan and
Roquan ended up finishing the week.
Yep. I'm a little obviously I haven't been on the Roquan Smith train at all. I liked his play, but if I was gonna all the way go back from the beginning, I said Dan Trevathan was the better pick because you get him later. You don't have to waste an early pick and you get the same stats out of him. And honestly, you're getting better stats out of Dan Trevathan. So that's one of the ones that's a tough matchup for me. But I have Dan Trevathan. I have to play him. I'm going to play him, especially in as many buys I have this week.
I'm still going to play him. You just like you said, you might not get as big a game as you're used to out of him, but
like you said, Nagy's not coaching very well, so I'm going to go with lines on this one and expect the Bears defense to play a lot. So if you got Bears defensive players, so play them. Pretty simple. Next game we got Dolphins Colts. 105 games, first afternoon game. This is going to be an interesting one because, the Colts are going to just destroy the Dolphins. And I get the Dolphins won their game last week, right?
Yeah.
But
that doesn't mean anything.
Lost everything.
Dolphins Jerome Baker, you can play him, like we've said that before. That's pretty obvious. Defensive line, if you need to start Taco Charlton, that's okay, but not exciting.
I'm not a huge fan. We got that question about Taco Charlton earlier in the week on what happened with his stat line. He didn't have any.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that I'm really
he's not reliable, but you can still play him, but he's not reliable by any stretch of anyone's imagination.
He had a good game there too, for a little bit. Their linebackers haven't played that great. They had a good game last week, overall. The Dolphins did. But I expect Brissett to be healthy again, even if he's not Hoyer's, a decent quarterback.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine.
Now, the Colts are injured quite a bit on the wide receiver side. Their only wide receiver that I know that's really playing is Pascal. The other two, T.Y. Hilton got hurt. The other kid got hurt. Preston Williams for the Dolphins got hurt. So,
yeah,
this could be – it's one of those ground and pound games, right? Who's it? The running back for the Dolphins got suspended for 4 games. So,
Walton.
So Kalen Ballage is their starter this week, and he's the only running back that got on the roster because they traded Kenyon Drake. So, this is going to be one of those ground and pound games. Could be good for the defensive linemen and linebackers. But Ryan Fitzpatrick is leading the league in passes greater than 10 yards again. So, I don't know. For me, the Colts, you've always been a fan of Clayton Gathers. I'm a fan of him. I think he plays well. I expect Darius Leonard. I expect Walker to play well.
Yeah.
I expect the Colts defense to win this game for them overall.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm not going to start Danico Autry. He's one guy on this defensive line that I'm kind of cooling on. He started out the season kind of hot. He had 8 tackles and 2.5 sacks, but since those first 2 weeks, he only had 9 tackles. So I'm not playing him, but Justin Houston, again, is proving himself to be an elite IDP option. He's having a really good year, or solid year. Not super great, but solid. And I like a bit of reliability. You're probably playing him as a DL2, but he can be a DL1 start. Like you said, Darius Leonard's a must start, obviously. Anthony Walker is a good, linebacker 2-3 fringe guy. He puts up linebacker 1 weeks from time to time. You think
Rashid Jones is a decent start, depending on who the quarterback's going to be for the Colts?
I don't know. I know Brandon was asking about that earlier in the week. He's been okay the couple of games he's played, but I don't want to start anybody on the Dolphins really except Jerome Baker, and I don't even want to start him. So I'm not really looking that way for anybody.
when Jones is on his game, he plays really well.
Yeah.
However, I just don't. If they were going like against the Packers or the Cowboys or the Rams, and people are going to throw the ball, we really, then I would look at a safety on the Dolphins a little more.
Yeah.
But
Brian Hoyer, we'll have to see what they end up doing with him. So I like you said, Gathers and Malik Hooker. They're good. Fitzpatrick, he got that name for a reason. So you might get a cheap pick or two out of Malik Hooker this week.
Yep. Next game, Panthers-Packers. It's an interesting game here because the Packers have not been really great on the defensive line, but the Smith brothers have both played very well.
Mm-hmm.
The linebackers, obviously, Blake Martinez is a must start no matter what, wherever you got him. For a corner, they have one of the better corners in the league when it comes to pass deflections. The kid,
King?
Well, King's played all right, but
Jair Alexander
on the other side is definitely playing better. You also got Savage on the back end. Adrian Amos. Honestly, the Packers are pretty loaded, and when you really look at it, you wonder how they got curb stomp last week. I mean, it's just crazy.
Well, I mean, the Chargers are still a great team, and the Packers were on the road, and we've seen, and it's weird, but it seems like when Devontae Adams is on the field, Aaron Rodgers just keys in on him so much that it's all or nothing with him, and if he doesn't get it done.
In both these teams matters. Both their quarterbacks laid an egg last week overall, right? Kyle Allen didn't have a good game. Rodgers didn't have a good game. But the one consistent player is CMC for the Panthers. The Packers' defensive line hasn't been very good. They got torched by Melvin Gordon. The Smith brothers, when they can get pressure, great. Blake Martinez, for sure tackler. This is going to be a fun one, period. The Panthers, obviously, Shaq Thompson's back healthy. He had a great game. Luke Kuechly had an okay game, not great.
Yeah.
You have Bruce Irvin and Brian Burns are both playing pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Trey Boston's putting up some good numbers. Eric Reed is having a really good
season. So
yeah,
he seems like he's just back to where his normal self.
He's got 3 sacks, high number of tackles. He plays the right amount of snaps. So this will be a good game for IDP. Blake Martinez has 95 tackles on the season. I didn't realize he was up that high already, but there he is. He leads the league. So, and like you said, the Smith brothers are both really good starts. I mean, Zadarius and Preston, they're both, if you can play them D-line eligibility, get them in your lineups because they're having good season.
Yep. That's what I got for that one. Next game, we got Rams-Steelers. This could be a shootout. Love Minkah Fitzpatrick. I actually like Edmonds this week because of who they're playing in golf. Really love – we've always loved the Rams' defense in general. Corey Littleton's really solid. Taylor Rapp's really solid. Obviously, you got Aaron Donald. You're talking about the other guy has come back really strong. On the other side is Fowler.
Yeah, Dante Fowler had a really good game 2 games before the bye.
Yep. Could be interesting to see what Rudolph ends up doing. The Rams obviously got a phenomenal corner, and he's going to guard – I'm going to guess he's going to guard Juju.
Yeah.
So Juju's not a play
try to avoid him.
Yeah. But it also seems like they got a little more trust in the Steelers quarterback in Rudolph. So, their running back had 14 targets and 14 receptions last week in Jalen Samuels.
Yeah.
Now they're going to try to key on that for sure.
Yeah. So, Steelers defensive line, Cam Hayward, Bud Dupree, TJ Watt, all those guys are must starts. The Rams offensive line has not been great this year. On the flip side, though, if obviously you're going to probably be starting Dante Fowler and Aaron Donald, but on the contrast, the Steelers offensive line has been really good this year for pass protection. So I'm not expecting world beater weeks from either of them. But the back end for the
I
Steelers,
I like both linebacking groups.
yeah, I was gonna say for the back end, I think Devin Bush should have a really good week. I think both the safeties for the Steelers should have a good week, and I think that Weddle, Rapp, and Littleton should all. I mean, they're all must starts this week. There should be a somewhat high paced, high flying game.
It's going to be a high pace, high flying, but I don't think a lot of scoring. I
Yeah,
think it's going to be
it's going to be sloppy. I think it might end up being sloppy. So
I think it's going to be a lot of moving the ball, but I think it's going to let's buckle down and bend but not break defenses here. It's going to be a fun one. This is actually going to be a lot funner than I thought it was going to be early in the season when Big Ben went out. So
yeah, it really has been pretty enjoyable without Big Ben. I mean, nothing against the guy, but it's been nice to win without him and, still have the team, and they're still doing okay. I mean, the Steelers quickly shifted their identity, to a defensive team, and it's worked out for them. And, if Mason develops properly, I mean, he's got young weapons. They have a good line still. He's got a good coach, a seasoned coach. So
I hope Connor comes back, healthy. I don't trust him, but if he does, this game just becomes a little more interesting because when he's healthy, he's a great running back. When he's not healthy, they're short. Snell's got an injured knee. They're down to Jalen Samuels. Edmonds, got tweaked again. So they dumped the ball off like crazy to Jalen Samuels last week. I mean, I know he had 14 targets and 14 interceptions. So it's going to be interesting. And because you expect the Rams to key on that, you might see the Steelers actually try to stretch the field a little bit because the Rams are going to stretch the field with Kupp and Woods and Reynolds.
Yeah, and Reynolds.
Next game, Vikings-Cowboys. I love this matchup. I think this is going to be in prime time.
This will be a fun game.
You got a lot of good players on each side. I'd love to see Leighton Vander Esch back for this game, though. I mean,
yeah, that would be nice for my lineups, and I'm sure for our audience's lineups as well. But
I mean, I know that I had to do a plug and play because Leighton Vander Esch was out, and I had to plug and play Marcus Golden last week. So,
yeah, it's tough whenever you lose a guy you drafted high. I mean, even for a week or two, it can keep you on your toes.
Yep, for sure. Let's go on the Vikings. Obviously, one of your favorite players on the Vikings is Harris Smith. He completely balls out every week. Yeah, he's a guy that you kind of have to go get.
Super solid. He's enjoyable to watch play football. He's enjoyable to have on your IDP team. I love him. Along with Eric Kendricks on that team, Daniil Hunter and Everson Griffin. I mean, those are four guys you have to start pretty much every week. And then if you need them to, I mean, you can start Anthony Barr and Anthony Harris, but I'm not really trying to start them. Xavier Rhodes seems like he's getting picked on a little bit. So if you're in a cornerback league, I picked him up on waivers this last week and I played him, and I'm going to play him again. I mean, just because he's better than nothing,
Yep. It's funny. 2 years ago, nobody was touching Rhodes.
Yeah, and now he's getting targeted.
Everybody. So you kind of wonder if he's working through an injury or something like that because he was unstoppable a couple years ago.
Yeah, and I just saw something on Pro Football Focus's Twitter a couple hours ago. I retweeted it. You might have seen it, but Everson Griffin and Daniil Hunter are both in the top 5 of quarterback pressures on the season. So
both of them are must plays.
That's a defensive line that is they're just pushing and pushing and pushing. And Dak's going to be running around a little bit this week. So we'll see if he can stay on his feet or not.
Yeah, I actually think they got a good chance to put some pressure on him. Both of them have 2 of the top running backs in the league, and Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be a fun one.
This will be a good game. There's some really good matchups this week across the board.
Yep, some good receivers. I mean, Xavier Woods played good last week. We knew he would. I expect him to have a decent game this week. The Cowboys' defensive line is pretty solid. DeMarcus Lawrence showed up finally last week. Had a really good
nice
week.
To see finally.
He could have the same week this week. People get to Case Keenum. He tends to fumble the ball here and there. So
Kirk
Cousins, not Case Keenum.
Yeah, he does tend to fumble the ball. I think it's a good week for Cousins, or not for Cousins, for Lawrence. It's a good week for Robert Quinn, Jalen Smith, Xavier Woods, like you just said. These are all guys. I mean, these are IDP studs. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence has had a down year, but it was good to see him be dominant on Monday night.
Yep, I like to see him come back pretty strong. He's playing really well. Last game, easily the premier game of the week, I would say overall, is the 49ers and Seahawks.
Agreed. I mean, IDP production-wise, the defensive line for the 49ers, I mean, we've talked about it ad nauseum, but, I mean, there's guys all over the place you can start there. Nick Bosa, D Ford in a pinch, low snaps, but he's still good. Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner is my dude. I have Nick Bosa at number 1 this week on my defensive lineman rankings. Russell Wilson has shown that he can be sacked multiple times in a game, in multiple games this season. Nick Bosa is a beast. Armstead's a beast. Buckner's a beast. I mean, he's going to have a lot of – I mean, he's not going to be able to just roll out because they're going to be coming out
Armstead got a little nicked up last week, though, didn't he?
He did early in the game, but he came back in. He had something in his throat or something, I remember. But he came back into the game after a little while. Cool. So whatever maybe he ate some turf or something. I don't know.
Who's the linebacker that ended up coming in for Quan Alexander?
Dre Greenlaw. I think, yeah. He's a guy that a lot of people have been pushing. Seems like he's going to replace Quan at that weak side linebacker spot. So if you need somebody, go pick him up. But I'm kind of just meh about it. I'm probably missing out. I'm probably stupid for not doing it. My bench is kind of clogged up right now, so I don't really want to just go pick up a guy to pick up a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you need a linebacker,
safety, that I've got to make a move on the other side. So
yeah.
I think I have 5 safeties.
On the other side of the ball, I mean, Jadeveon Clowney he's playing good football, not playing super high number of snaps, but he's playing good football. So he usually somehow manages to salvage his week without being a high tackle producer. So tough.
Marquise Blair still a guy you're looking at play well?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially with all the bye weeks this week.
Kittle.
Maybe not.
He covered Andrews and played great against Andrews.
Then yeah, I think there's a good chance that he has a big week this week because they like to use Kittle. So he
that's why Budda Baker had such a good week, right? He played well against Jordan.
Oh yeah.
That matchup was probably if there's an SB for best matchup in the football season, it had to be that one. Both of them got there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Both of them had some good plays either side. Budda had some monster plays, tackles for loss. He had a lot of tackles. He got shown up a little bit. So
yeah, he got thrown down one time, but I mean, he had a couple of pass deflections too in there to stop some third downs. Apparently, Kittle hadn't. Every time Kittle had been targeted up until that last week, he had on third down he converted it, and then Budda Baker pass deflected his first miss of the season on that. So that was pretty. That just shows you the kind of playmaking ability he has. You might not get bonus points for that, but he stopped a third down conversion, so that's good stuff.
Yeah, those are huge, especially when you got a guy who's been unstoppable on third down.
Yeah.
So that'll be a fun match to watch. I really think if it is them, it's either going to be him or Quandre Diggs, and I don't think Quandre Diggs is the guy that early in his career, Quandre Diggs that would be going to play. Now you got to take the youngster. He's shown well against good players. I say give him a shot. And
there's no reason they're going to bench him. And there's no, in Diggs is, they kind of got him, I feel like, as a depth play, really. They didn't give a lot up for him, and he was nicked up even when they got him. So they knew what they were getting into. I think Blair's still to play. Then,
you still got some great linebackers on that side. You got Fred Warner, right? Or not Fred Warner. You got, what do you do Fred Warner? You got Bobby Wagner. You got, who's the guy that you've been kind of keen on? He's been kind of come up.
Michael Kendricks, he's been having some big plays. KJ Wright, he has some good games. So, I mean, you can play these guys. Bobby Wagner's where you're going to want to go, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, he's a must play. I mean, every week he's a must play for sure.
Yeah.
I don't like I said, so, we're at that point where plays of the week and then guys you're going to stick with. So,
yeah, let's do some starts of the week. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'm going to start of the week. My safety for start of the week has got to be Rapp. He's consistently played really well. He's in a good spot where he could have a big game. Like we said, it's going to be one of those fun games to watch. I really, really like Rapp this week. Him or Budda Baker. So
My defensive back star of the week is Minkah Fitzpatrick. I've been, a big fan of his all season. He's had a kind of a up and down narrative about him, but the reality is he's been having an incredible season. He's got 4 interceptions, fumble recovery, a touchdown, 6 pass defended, and he's got 42 tackles. So I'll take that from a guy who was not wanted in Miami. I'm also a Steelers fan, so I love him. So he's got a good matchup this week against the Rams. Should be a lot of, Goff throwing the ball. So there should be a lot of tackle opportunities on the back end for him. So just, start him with confidence. Don't let anybody talk you down.
Yep, agreed. Linebacker, we talked about this before we went live. It's a little tough one for me to decide on. But, man, I really like Devondre Campbell this week. He's in it. We expect the Saints to throw the ball quite a bit. He's been really good against the pass. He's been a sure tackler overall. So he's the guy that I'm looking at to play real well this week. So Devondre Campbell's my linebacker start of the week.
Love it. I just picked somebody, dropped him because of the bye week, so I picked him up in the league. So I was really happy to do that. My linebacker star of the week is Mr. Matt Milano from Buffalo. He's been having a really good season. He's probably the most reliable IDP option on Buffalo. Even over Tremaine Edmonds and Jordan Poyer. Milano's good in coverage. He's got 2 passes defended on the year. He's got over 50 tackles, and he's got 5 tackles for loss. So, that's a good stat to have to your name. So he's a good guy. A good play this week. I'm starting with confidence everywhere that I have him, and I'm expecting him to pan out in a big way.
Obviously, it's a great start. I completely agree with you. 100%. It's just a good spot to be in. I'm going to go a little off key here, and Jason Pierre-Paul is my start of the week against Kyler Murray.
There you go. I love it. He's kind of been a forgotten man because of the neck injury, but he's still an elite player.
It's going to be a fun one.
Most definitely. My defensive lineman start of the week is Everson Griffin. Dude, like I said earlier, PFF put something out. He's top 5 in quarterback pressures on the season. He and Danielle Hunter are. To have 2 guys like that coming off the edge at you, there's going to be tons of big play opportunities, as there already has been throughout the season. He's got 5.5 sacks on the season, 7.5 tackles for loss, an interception, 2 pass deflections, 16 quarterback hits. Like that's the business right there. So
it's the business.
Everson Griffin has been playing out of his mind, and I think he is a great start this week and every week, but especially this week against the Cowboys, especially with his homie Danielle Hunter, who's totally healthy and having a great season himself, playing on the other side. Cowboys are going to have to pick one of these guys to focus on, and the other guy is going to eat. And the odds are
you're right. You're going to pick Danielle Hunter. And
the odds are they're going to focus on Danielle Hunter. So I expect Griffin to have a good game.
I like both of them. So I guess we've kind of went through this pretty quick.
We're usually over an hour before we get there, but
but that's what happens when you only have a few games.
We didn't have a lot of bye weeks, which is kind of nice. Blessing in disguise.
I am getting a question, and I might as well answer while we're here because big supporter, my man Russ, Clutch Russ, here we are. Blair or Rat rest of the season?
That's tough.
It is tough.
I'm probably – man, that's really tough. I don't know. What do you think?
So the main reason I'm going to go Blair is what their schedule is. Like a lot of teams are going to pass the ball, which means a lot of teams going to give Blair a chance to get more tackles.
Yeah,
purely tackle formatted, purely in the aspect that Blair can get a lot more sacks or a lot more tackles. Rat, big playability. He's in that same group. So it's good for either one. I know Russ is a good team, so he's always going to have – he probably has Minka or somebody else too. So love both plays, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm just going to agree with you. I think I'm just going to stick with Blair until I see something come along that makes me think that he's not going to keep this job. I think that defense is bad enough to where they'll let people have sustained longer drives against them. So I think you said, and he's a playmaker, so
I mean, not by any means do I drop either one of them, but
yeah, try not to do that.
you might. I mean, it is the last trade week, so for a lot
things
of
are going to be. Things got weird on some waiver wires today. I won't even lie to you. There was a lot of movement.
If there's one guy on the IDP side that you're trying to make a move for, who is it?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
If there's one guy on the IDP side that you think the guy's like, he's, you're playing somebody that is
who I'm trying to make a move for before trade deadline. I would probably this week try and get Yannick or Josh places I don't have them, Josh Allen, because they're on bye, so you might be able to squeeze them in. And, Harold Landry, we've talked about him, but I think he's also a guy that you have to at least try to make a play for.
I like both those. Josh Allen was definitely a guy that I would look at. Yannick for sure. Calais Campbell when he's not injured.
Yep. What about you?
Well, it's funny because you and me both end up getting Matt Ioannidis off the waiver wire. Now he's blown up 3 weeks in a row, but now he's on a bye week. So if there's somebody that I'm looking for that somebody's needing a position play this week because they have him and he's on a bye, I'm going to try to go get him because I think he's going to be solid the rest of the year. So Matt Ioannidis for me is my big, defensive lineman guy that because
if you can go acquire him for sure. And he's young too. For whatever reason, people in your head, you're like, oh, he's like 26, 27. No, he's like 23, 24.
Yeah,
he's only drafted like 2 years ago.
Go get him for sure.
Yep. So
love dynasty leagues. I mean, obviously you and me are both keen on that one. You have the biggest dynasty league team I've ever seen in my life, by the way.
Dude, yeah, I told you that league was nuts. It's I don't even know how many roster spots there. I think our draft was 80 rounds. It took like 2 months. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to the guys in the Pathway to Armageddon Dynasty Superflex IDP League. Some fun people over there. But I'm raking it in over there right now. I haven't lost a week all season, and I scored highest score this week. It's like 24 teams. We start how many people I say we started the other day? It's like 26, I think. So
that's ridiculous. I mean, that means one of the teams has to be complete horrible. Like.
Well, it ain't my team, I'll tell you that. We're stacked. I got all my fab left, and I have all my draft picks for next year, too, and I haven't been beaten yet. And I'm just like, cruise control. I probably need to knock on wood real quick so I don't fuck this all up. But
might be this week. I'm going to take that L because you jinxed yourself.
No. We're good. We're good.
Man, it's been a great one. Obviously, if anybody talks to me and when I talk about doing this podcast with Jordan – it seems like it always goes like crazy and look up, oh man, it's 57 minutes. Here we are. But that's how it is with you. And I always appreciate your company. And, this is a long standing relationship me and Jordan are going to have doing this. So
yeah, agreed, bro. It always does go by fast. And I always, I'm glad we have a good routine going, a good method to our madness. And, we have a small but growing community. Shout out to the hashtag IDPArmy. That's what
if you guys don't know, that's our new thing. You're the IDP Army. So when you tweet, I expect you to play it in. Give us a shout out.
Yeah, give us any questions. Throw that hashtag up. We'll start searching it. But that's kind of what we're going to start, hopefully, referring to our community members as. We got some good followers, some good guys that follow us on Twitter, on YouTube, and all that. And we super appreciate that. We want to give you guys the recognition and the shout out that you deserve, and hopefully keep serving it up for you hot.
That's what we're going to do. All right. Well, until Sunday, I guess, when we do our live show.
Yep. Until then, shout out Steve. We miss you, buddy. Hope you're having a good one.
He's working hard. He always is. So, all right. Until Sunday.
Till then, later, guys.